journalism. This afternoon, MPP MPs have become the first side to show up with Parliament reconvening after nearly 2 months of political deadlock. The caucus have taken over the right side of the Speaker, a side their NDC colleagues took over in the last 2 meetings. First Deputy Speaker Jose Wusu, speaking to journalists, insists that is their rightful place.
The 8th Parliament will continue as it started in 2021.
Before breaking for campaign and the elections, the issue was who to sit where because of Speaker's announcement of the 4 seats that were vacant. Today, where is minority going to sit? Where is majority going to sit? Where will the MPP side be? And
what brought about that? Is that matter still pending? Has the Supreme Court not ruled it out? So there's no question. And sometimes, frankly, you in the media generate needless controversy. If somebody else is insisting that we should those other MPs are no longer members of Parliament, let that person be bold and say it after the Supreme Court ruling. We should not encourage these things. Whatever or whoever came to that conclusion, the Supreme Court says you're wrong. So, Honorable Esiama is a member of Parliament, Cynthia is a member of Parliament, all the 4 of them. So wearing lies is, where will you sit? We will sit where we have sat from 2021 to date. Well, what else can you expect? Some people are demoralized, so you don't expect everybody to be able to be here. So it's normal. From my experience in the last 4 parliaments, the last few days, we hardly get a full member. So I'll not be surprised if we don't get a full member.
Honorable, the free SHS bill is expected to be discussed in Parliament today. Are you confident it will be passed, that and other bills?
Are you aware of that? I'm not aware that any bill is going to be discussed today. The business of the House, as I knew, did not include any bills. So I don't expect that any matter relating to the free SHS bill will be discussed today.
And you just heard there Joseph Osewusu saying that he does not expect some of his colleagues who were defeated in the just ended election to show up today. Why not cross over to the House and find out from our parliamentary correspondent, Kweku Asante, who's standing by. Kweku, do we know the whereabouts of the NDC group?
Have started filling up. This time around, there is no dispute as to sitting arrangements. The NPP MPs arrived and went straight to the majority side, and the NDC MPs who have now been coming in have also gone to the minority side. We know they did have a caucus meeting this morning to thrash out a few issues. A lot of them in white, obviously jubilating about the victory they just had in the 2024 election, have all come in and have gone straight to their NDC minority side. None of their leaders have arrived so far, but we understand none of their confrontation, as we saw in the last 2 meetings, is going to happen. Both sides have an agreement that all of them are going back to their respective caucuses, especially so since in the next 3 weeks, the House will be reset and the NDC will go back to having that 185 MPs at least that they so far have and go back to the majority. And so this morning, both sides have just occupied the seats they used to occupy prior to this stalemate that was brought about by the declaration of some seats as vacant.
So with this understanding, take us through the major business that will be on the agenda for this meeting. And how long will it last, Kweku?
Well, the House is not expected to sit beyond 24th because the House will go on break for Christmas, and then there will be preparation for the inauguration of the 9th Parliament. We are yet to get an understanding of the business statement, which will be presented today to explain the main business the House will be doing between now and when they go on break. But we expect that there will be a mini budget. That is a budget to take care of the first quarter of next year. Today, we'll perhaps get to know when exactly the finance minister will present that budget. That budget will be presented to cover the first quarter of next year so that John Dramani Mahama, when he is sworn in, will then present a substantive budget. There are numbers about bills that have been on the desk for a while now. You heard that the First Deputy Speaker insists that some of those bills may not be taken at all. There's also the matter of the $350 million worth of tax waivers, $250 million loan application that the government is seeking to get all those businesses on hold, and we will get to see if there's an agreement between the leadership on both sides for these businesses to be transacted.
And briefly before you go, Kweku, did you see any exchanges of congratulatory messages from the NDC to the IMPP side?
Well, yes, a number of the NDC MPs, the way the conference center Grand Arena is structured, when you walk in through the majority side first. A number of them will go over to their colleagues, some of them who lost their seats, and talk to them as we speak. A number of them still over there talking to each other, while some NDP MPs have also gone to the other side. For instance, Fortune Berima, the MP for Doma East, who lost his seat, currently interacting with some of his NDC colleagues. A lot of the NDC MPs who come in wearing white, like I said earlier on, jubilating about the victory, while the mood on the NPP side is really somber. A lot of them seated in their places. There's no hobnobbing. I can see some George and Kwame Gavin Abuja, for instance, talking to the former roads minister and others. So there is that bit of interaction going on currently.
Thank you very much, parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante, who will be joining us on Newsnight with more from Parliament. Let's move on. And the governing MPP continues to insist it won the parliamentary seats in some constituencies, which have since been declared for the NDC. The party says it has evidence of their candidates winning in the said constituencies. Speaking at the party's headquarters, Majority Leader Alexander Fenyomakin said the NDC deliberately disrupted the collation process in these constituencies and in some cases forced the returning officers to wrongly declare NDC parliamentary candidates as the winners. The party has thus called on the Electoral Commission to recollate these constituency results, which they believe that they won.
Felt that they could not provide security in spite of EC's insistence to continue the work. In fact, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that actually instructed the EC to stop the collation process. I repeat, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that instructed EC to stop the process of collating the results because it was not sure of its ability to provide security. And you recall that was when the deputy communication officer, I don't want to mispronounce his name, had issued threat at commanding 5,000 people to meet at the police training school. It's all on social media. So our appeal to the international community, civil society organizations, the media, and all lovers of democracy is to show interest in these outstanding constituencies and give the EC every moral support to proceed to make these declarations. Again, we are encouraging the Electoral Commission that pursuant to their own statement they issued and their press conference on the evening of Friday to proceed to collect and declare these results. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You heard the Alexander Afenyomakin, the majority leader, speaking at the party's headquarters, and my colleague Kenneth Jesse just returned from that place. Tell us the constituencies that a party called for recollation and what are their reasons?
Well, so they've listed a number of constituencies: Ablikuma North, Tema Central, Okaigwe North, Domikwabinya, Ahafuano North, Obuasi East, Ahafuano South East, Nsawam Adwedri, Techiman South, and our win. Now, in Ablikuma, for instance, they said while the coalition was going on, the NDC refused to accept the reality that they had lost and then destroyed some pink sheets. The same incident happened at Tema Central constituency. They've also recounted that in Okaigwe North, they believe that their candidate won with over 1,400 difference. In Domikwabienya, which has since been declared for the NDC's candidate, they insist that the MPP's candidate, Michael Quay Jr., also won that. And then they've raised concerns about the Obuasi East constituency. They say that the final results showed that the MPP candidate won with 18,558, with the NDC candidate getting less of that vote. But there was a swap of results. They swapped the results of the MPP with the NDC and declared for the NDC candidate. They've also raised concerns about Nsawam Adwedri, which has not concluded, Techiman South, and our Win constituency, which they said that the NDC is leading with 103 of the votes, but they have investigated and seen that there were some infractions and have called for a recollation, which they think their candidate will win.
Kenneth, how many are there in all the constituencies that they are contesting?
On my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 of them. Now, last week, Friday, we also saw the party's director of legal, Eduji Tamaklo, telling us that they have secured injunction for some of them. How different are these from those that the NDC sought injunction?
Well,
13.
Well, they haven't made it clear whether these are part of the ones that the NDC sought injunction, but the NDC did speculate that they are sought injunction on the Nsewema Duedri one, if I'm correct. Yes, but the MPP is saying that they are not going to head to court because these results have not been gazetted by the Electoral Commission. So what they're doing is that they are calling on the Electoral Commission. They say from here they are meeting the security agencies to ensure that a recollation is done and the right winners are declared, and they believe all those winners are parliamentary candidates of the MPP.
Thank you very much, Kenneth Jesti. We hope that you follow through as they meet the security agencies for further updates. Let's move on. And President-elect John Dramani Mahama has stated that despite President Akufo-Addo's optimism about Ghana's economic performance, particularly the reported growth in the third quarter, the economy remains very sick. Speaking after members of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council paid a courtesy call on him, he expressed concerns about the state of governance, especially in the Electricity Company of Ghana, stating the ECG is suffering from commercial and technical losses amounting to 32%, which he believes is unsustainable. The president-elect stressed the urgent need for reforms across the entire electricity value chain.
The priority really is the economy. The economy, even though the president sounded very upbeat about the third quarter growth, from the little briefing I have, the economy is still very sick. And there are many areas that we need to work on as quickly as possible, especially the energy sector. The energy sector can derail everything that we've done with regards to the debt exchange and with regards to the IMF program, because the debts continue to pile up there. ECG's governance is in a very bad way, and so they are making commercial and technical losses of more than 32%. There's no utility company that can survive with 32% commercial and technical losses and still continue to be a viable utility. And so as quickly as possible, we need to do reforms, in the whole electricity value chain in order that we have better efficiency and performance if we are to have sustainable power going forward. The priority is to stabilize the economy, reduce waste, rationalize taxes, because Ghana is increasingly becoming a high cost point of doing business. If we are to remain competitive, we must rationalize the taxes, make them more transparent so that foreign investors feel attracted to come to our country, to come and set up, businesses and industries so that we can get employment for our young people.
President-elect John Dramani Mahama and Maxwell Agbagbah is with him and joins us on the phone lines with more details. Maxwell, tell us what else is on the agenda of the president-elect.
It was such a horror, and I looked
First was the GPCC. He just finished an interaction with minority political parties. Now, during his interaction with the GPCC, he also stated key priorities for his incoming administration. He stated the urgent need to revive the economy, rationalize taxes, and focus on youth employment. He stressed the importance of a viable private sector and promised government support to empower business and create jobs. Now, as part of his plans also, the president-elect promised to establish a government advisory council. Now, this council, he says, will carry out annual assessments of the country's state of affairs, focusing on critical areas such as the economy, human rights, and governance. These assessments, he explained, will help provide the government with a clear sense of direction and ensure accountability. He has also been touching on constitutional reforms. He revealed plans to revisit the work of the Constitutional Review Committee, and he intends to hold a national validation conference to reassess flagged issues and implement necessary changes. Now, one of such areas of focus is the role of the Speaker of Parliament. He believes addressing this issue will clarify the Speaker's mandate and help avoid future conflicts such as the recent disagreement between the Speaker and the Supreme Court, Hannah.
Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba there. We stay with the president-elect because he says he intends to find a dedicated source of funding to support the rollout of the free senior high school policy. According to Ghana's incoming leader, he has no plan to halt the policy as suggested by his political opponents. Mr. Mahame's former appointee Seth Tekpe struck the national conversation a couple of days ago when he suggested that a free senior high school policy was a burden to government's budgets.
Kejo can tell you, secondary education is free in Europe. Secondary education is free in the US. But they are day schools. They are day schools. The best governments do is to put those in the US yellow buses, which you have to stop to give priority for the bus to take the kids. Right. So how come rich developed countries that started the boarding school system, right? And today if you want to go to a boarding school, college or whatever, it's elite. And you have to pay a lot. And it's only rich people who are able to take and talented students who may get scholarships, right? Who go to those schools. Why don't we follow the examples? What makes us think that we can support free SHS unfettered from fees? The warning came in 2018 or 2019, early in the administration, when we used 2.2 billion of a bond Ghana cedis to support free SHS.
Well, speaking in an interview with Voice of America, John Mahama emphasized the free senior high school has come to stay.
Free SHS has come to stay, and it is not going anywhere. Nobody is going to scrap free SHS. What was said was political talk, and it was just political gimmickry. Free SHS is not going anywhere. We're going to maintain the policy. What we're going to do is to get dedicated funding for it so that it is better resourced than it is currently. There's a lot of waste in the system. We're going to help to make it more efficient so that the teachers, the parents, and the students get the best out of the free SHS. We're going to look at the basic school level too. Because we have focused on free SHS, we are abandoning the basic level. And so the basic level is becoming a major problem. 1.3 million pupils at the basic level do not have furniture. They don't have tables and chairs to sit on. They lie on their stomachs in the classroom or sit on cement blocks. And that's because all our focus has been on the secondary school level. So we're going to hold a national education forum, and that forum is going to bring all the stakeholders together. And we're going to take a look at the whole education value chain. And we're going to come, and by consensus, all of us, it's non-partisan, everybody of every walk of life who has a stake in education is going to be at that conference. And we're going to take important decisions on how to reform our education so that the children get better quality. And so that's what we're going to look at. But the thing about me coming and scrapping free SHS was just political gimmickry by the MPP. Free SHS has come to stay. We're going to make it better. We're going to improve the quality of the food for the children.
Here of Galamsey.
Yeah.
Well, we stay with the president-elect. He has cautioned those lobbying for positions in his incoming administration to prepare for the challenges ahead. He was speaking at a Thanksgiving service held in his honor at the Assemblies of God Church in Accra.
When I lost in 2016, the Christmas hampers stopped coming. The many people and so just as our colleagues in the MPP might be feeling very pained by their loss, it should serve as a lesson to those of us coming into government that the same stick that Techi has been beaten with, Ghanaian people are deserving it for back. So I've been receiving knocks on my door, receiving text messages, people who are considering themselves for various positions, and I just want to warn them, it's not going to be a walk in the park. If you are not prepared to work and serve the people of Ghana diligently and modestly and with humility, then don't come. Just stay. My political journey has been a divine one, and I believe that it's God who has guided my step each way until now, from being a member of parliament to being a deputy minister to being a minister to to being a vice president, to being a president. At each step, I have doubted whether it was the path that I wanted to carry on. But God has gently continued to push me and show me in the direction that He wants me to go.
President-elect John Dramani Mahama there. You're still listening to the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM, on Hits 103.9 FM, in Kumasi 99.5 FM, and affiliates across the country. We'll take a short break. When we come back, health officials in the Western region in a race against time to contain cholera outbreak, which has so far claimed 14 lives.
We've seen a spillage. A lot of cases have been coming in. We had to convert the antenatal clinic into an isolation unit where these patients are being nursed. The numbers have escalated so much that we have even converted part of our OPD and these environs into another unit where the patients are being nursed.
And also,
since the economy is not that good, and then we are trying to like make everything work out. It's a bit difficult though, but we are still trying.
It's 9 more days to the Yuletide, but how prepared are you? We'll be back from the break with some details from some people that we spoke to on the streets of Accra.
Where did I? Not until when you just saw. Obey, what's the chrome? And to want to say petrol sulfur energizing drinks for motion. Hey, boy.
Petrosol are celebrating their 10 years in grand style. They're giving back to their loyal customers. Hope you have registered at their online portal. Don't say I didn't tell you, oh.
Each month, customers will stand a chance of winning items like tricycles, motorcycles, television sets, refrigerators, phones, fuel vouchers, and many more. But the best part is that at the end of the promo, we will be giving out a grand prize of 2 Suzuki Espresso cars to lucky winners who stay with us all through the promo period. All you need to join is to visit any of our over 100 stations across the country to get registered, or go to www.petrosolcrm.com to register online.
Petrosol, energizing dreams.
You're welcome back. What's up in sports?
Yes, Anna. So all is set for the 2024 CAF Awards, which will be held in Marrakesh, Morocco tonight at 6 p.m. The good news is that Ghanaian attacker Abdulaziz Issa, who currently plays for Barcelona, is in contention for the Goal of the Year award. He scored a stunning long-range goal from the center of the pitch against Lobito in last season's CAF Confederation Cup. Elsewhere, there is the Player of the Year award, where Nigeria's Ivorian Simone Dingra and 3 others for the accolade. Back
Thank
to
you
Hannah.
so much for sports. Now, health officials in the Western region are in a frantic move to stop the mountain cholera cases that has already claimed 14 lives and infected over 800. The outbreak, which has raised alarm across the region, is being fueled by poor sanitation and limited access to clean water. They are urging residents to adhere to strict hygiene practices, such as frequent hand washing with soap and boiling water before drinking. One of them, Vivian Zumelo, who is a nurse manager at the Kwesimintim Government Hospital, spoke to correspondent Inathalia Kwansa.
It has been so bad. Actually, it started with only 3 cases as at 10th of November. Yes. And then we lost one of them. 2 were discharged. We actually went for a conference and came out with the cholera. But after that, we've seen a spillage. A lot of cases have been coming in. So we had to convert our isolation unit, the antenatal clinic, into an isolation unit where these patients are being nursed. The numbers have escalated so much that we have even converted part of our OPD and these environs into another unit where the clinics are being nursed. Actually, what about the vaccination? How has it been? Yes, it is ongoing. We started yesterday, and at the moment, people are coming in to be vaccinated. And we have about 2 weeks to Christmas, and you know Christmas and Sakura Day. How should the residents prepare towards it? We are encouraging everybody to take the vaccine so that within 2 weeks the condition can. And I also want to say that hand washing is paramount. Hand washing with soap and water, not any water at all, clean water, so that they will prevent the infection from spreading to others. And then the vaccine to help to reduce the spread.
You heard Mrs. Zomelo speaking to Inathalia Kwansa. And an acute water shortage has hit the greater Kumasi metropolis after the Ghana Water Company staff withdrew their services on Friday. The shortage has forced residents to spend hours searching for water to meet their domestic and commercial needs. Emmanuel Bright Kweku has been monitoring the situation in the region and reports.
In the last 3 days, residents who solely rely on water supply from the Ghana Water in the greater Kumasi metropolis have been in a desperate search for water. Taps in their various homes have stopped flowing. They are resorting to wells and other underground water sources for their daily chores. The taps haven't been flowing for the past 3 days. We need water for our work. We are now resorting to fetching from wells.
We must use water in small quantities for our chores, which is unhygienic for cooking.
Emmanuel Bright Kweku brought us that report. It's time for M&J, represented by Oli
Jackie.
What's up?
Well,
are you ready for Christmas?
I mean, you know, the whole election stuff, I think it's still hovering around the air, but I mean, people are getting ready, you know.
With some recollation still ongoing.
Yes. But then we've been out, my colleague Stephen has been out asking people how well they are planning ahead of the Christmas celebration. Let's take a listen.
Sure.
Do I even have any plans? I'm planning on going on a trip. I remember when, like, I was a child, then by now my dress will be ready, my shoes and everything. Yeah, will be ready.
But now you don't
No. I'm an adult now, so I have to cater for everything by myself. Yeah. Silent night. Holy night.
Yes.
Holy night.
The new song comes out.
Yes, yeah. Kim Paluta has a new song with DJ Slim. I think that's the Christmas anthem for this year. Let's take a listen to.
Let's take a listen and learn the lyrics.
Nana from January to February to March.
Jackie, from January to what? February to March to December, God has been good, right?
Yeah, he has.
And we have a lot to say. Thank you. Well, that's it for the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. You can log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more news there. Living Word with Dr. Mensa Otabil comes up next.